Oh, oh.
Maybe Zachariah. Bula shakatit.
He's in a row. Oh, Gosha. Fumu. North.
Barza. Oyo. Zay.
Cho. Bess McCoy.
Zor.
Sul, hello, and labas. Welcome to another episode of the Payne Family Ultimate Decades Challenge. Man, I am a ball of feelings right now. I am at once excited to be back with this and incredibly anxious. Even though I think I've sorted out the problem, I feel a large amount of anxiety about recording these days. So please forgive me if I seem a bit off. I'm doing my best. But we're starting here with Bess and Canoe. The first thing that I thought we would talk about is the idea of pirate life, because I've developed some roles for pirate life. I don't think pirate life was especially stable. I don't think it was especially safe. And so I kind of used that as inspiration to think about, obviously people wouldn't do it if there was only risk, no reward. So in my interpretation, you can get pretty good rewards. You might get lucky or you might get super unlucky. I've got two different ideas for how the roles can go. They're over on Patreon. Feel free to leave some comments about your thoughts and how they could be, sort of like clearer or better. I'm happy to hear your thoughts about them because I've been sitting with them for a while and I thought I was going to get feedback on them earlier. But of course, with all of the delays and recording and all of the problems, here we are. So what I was thinking is that there's a couple of different stages to the pirate life rolls. So first, you can send your sim out a pirating and they can roll on a d10 to see how many thousands, millions they get. So first one doesn't count as usual. So 4. Now 4 has to be split between the entire pirate crew. I do not think it would have been received well if somebody decided, hey, I'm going to keep all the money for myself. So you must split it amongst your crew. Otherwise, either you can never go pirating again with that crew, or that crew might come after you for revenge. Interpret that how you will. The second thing is I thought that there would be small fortunes or small hardships that might pop up, as well as major things that could happen. So kind of like small things, day-to-day stuff, and big things. I'm thinking that if you go out as a pirate, you're going to be gone for 1 sim year. That way it keeps it from being too frequent. You can't just go and go and go. And that means that your partner cannot have any more children while you're away, unless they're getting crazy behind your back. And I thought that either you could choose to do the small ones or the big ones each time. You could flip for it or alternate, or you could choose to do both. I'm going to do both. So for the small fortunes and hardships, they're split pretty much 50-50 into good or bad. First one doesn't count, so 19. Oh no, lost loot. The locals, when you are ported somewhere, turn against you. They call the constables to chase you down, and in your haste to get away, you lose all the money you would have made from this trip. Oh well, at least you have your life. What about the major one? Number 8. Unexpected treasure. A seized merchant vessel carries spices, silks, and even silver. Roll on a d10 where the number is 2 times how many thousands you get to keep. So for me, I would interpret this as losing our initial loot, that 4,000, but on our way back, since I did it second, that's where we found that extra treasure. And so now we get to roll again on a d10. First one still doesn't count, although I wish that it had. 7. So we got 14,000, and Canul is part of a pirate crew of 4 guys. Kind of. That's a complicated story we'll get into, or you've already seen. I'm not sure where this is going to go. But that means that they ended up with 14K split amongst the 4 Sims, which is really not a bad haul. So it could go good, it could go bad. And that's kind of the idea of how the pirate rolls are going to go from my perspective. So here we are, obviously, with Bess and Canul, and you might be asking yourselves, why on earth are this Sim, Albert, and Gunther here? Gunther, what the heck, bro? So Albert had been taken captive during one of the previous raids with Lithuania and the Order, and he was being kept as a serf, basically. He was being forced to work the land. He was doing the best he could with it, but like he wasn't, happy by any means. And he had been placed with Danica, and they kind of became friendly. They have a bit of a romance going on because Albert is Albert. He saw Gunther, who had run away from home because he no longer trusted Henrika after she killed those crusaders. He couldn't eat there. He was scared. And so he ran away. He ended up running all the way to the Order's lands and happened to bump into Albert. When one day Albert was looking over and he saw a ship coming, happened to be, according to the story, Canul's pirate ship. And basically he said, this is it. This is our big chance to make a break for it. He grabbed Danica and they went for it. They just basically did a runner. Golly, he really wants to try for a baby. Good grief, dude. Like, let's just... Oh, I thought we were going to kiss is what I was looking for. So Gunther is here. He's here with these guys. These guys are just here while they're getting themselves situated. Bess and Canul have taken them in. They helped out on the ship a little bit, but mostly Albert has promised to become a pirate in the future. So he has promised that he will pay off his debt to the pirates by working for them, helping them on future campaigns. And so that's kind of the plan for him, is to become a pirate like Canul and join that whole group. The rest of the Lances are going to be sort of let go, put into the background. Johanna Lance III recently got married. It was an arranged marriage. She got married, she moved off. She is now released from the spreadsheet. She's an unplayed household, so her life will go the way that her life goes. Baby's awake. Bess, that's gonna be you. And so she's off living her life, and I will set her sister up as well with her life and then release her from the spreadsheet. I feel like we've kind of, the Lances, Albert, do not. I feel like the Lances, actually, Albert, go and fiddle around down there. That'll be good for you. I feel like the Lances are they've kind of just fallen to the background. They're just not as big of a part of the story anymore. They are Seamus's grandchildren, but it just doesn't feel like their story is that interesting to me. There are a lot of other Sims that are a lot more interesting, and so I feel like I'm just ready to kind of let them go, I'm ready to move on. If I find out anything that happens to them in their lives, of course, I'll share that with you all, but I might not see it because there's a lot of Sims already to keep track of, and we just might not hear that much from the Lances. But Albert's little life has gone a little bit different, and so I feel like we will be seeing him. He'll be sort of pirating around with these guys, and so we'll be able to participate, see his story, because he'll be kind of along with Canul as he goes about his existence. Canul hated and sad about it. He thinks he's hated, but I don't see any milestone that says why he would be hated. I guess because he got ran out of that town, according to those pirate rolls, maybe. Oh gosh, poor kid. You're dizzy. Oh my gosh, Friedrich just lifted her head. Congratulations. Frida's very cute, but she is sensitive. A snuggly sleeper. But at least she loves being held. Wait, how does she have all of these? She's got 4 infant traits. Aren't you supposed to only have 2? I would be very happy if Snuggly Sleeper would get out of there because, let's face it, Snuggly Sleeper is the worst. It's the worst. Oh, she's automatically going over there to talk to her husband. So cute. Oh, you can't play with her? Well then, Danica, do you mind coming back here and taking care of the baby while Bess and Canule kind of, you know, spend some time together? They can kiss neck. They can be together. Oh my gosh. So when I recorded this the last time with the one where the audio was completely unusable, the same pop-up happened. And honestly, Albert, it was for Albert. And he is the sim of all of the sims of this time period in this playthrough that would be ideal for the 7 wild dates. But like, I don't have time to micromanage him like that. So profess your undying love. They're so in love. They're so cute. Oh, hey, Pate. Pate sent a letter. I don't want to talk right now, though, if you don't mind. It's not that I don't want to talk to you. It's just that, like, you know, we're busy. We're busy reconnecting with our husband. We'll write you a letter later. So Albert, Danica, and Gunther are going to be living here with Bess and Canule until they can get their own home sort of like set up. It's a bit of a tight squeeze, but there is room because there was so much space for children in this household. So there are enough beds, actually. There's more than enough beds. Gunther, you're so cute. So if you guys have forgotten, Gunther is actually Sten's illegitimate child from when he was taken and disappeared because of a raid again. We don't know who his mother is. His father ended up dying in the second outbreak of the plague. And of course, Sten's brother was also there and knew that that's what had happened. And then Bess is super sick, Gunther's super sick. So Bess, I think we're gonna have to make some tea. Can we please make some healthy green? That's what you've got to do, my friend. And I actually do want them to get pregnant again, but they haven't conceived yet, so I don't know. So, oh my gosh, it's already 3 p.m. in the game. Quick, Bess, drink your tea. You need it. Gunther, can you have a drink as well? You need one as well, buddy. You're sick. In fact, why doesn't everybody go ahead and grab one? You too. How many are there? Only 2 left. Well, Canule seems fine. We're gonna go and meet his sort of like pirate companions a bit later. Oh. Well, then you grab it over Albert. Sorry, Albert. You don't really seem like you need it, though, my dude. You can go and take a bath instead. How about that? Oh my gosh. Snuggly Sleeper is so crazy. Bess's hunger is going down, but I mean, she doesn't have... Okay, she does have throw up, but I bet it's because she's sick, right? Go ahead and use the bathroom, Bess. She is pregnant. I believe. Oops, sorry, Albert. That was my bad. Oh my God. I was the one who told him to take the bath and then immediately forgot that he was in there. Whoopsie daisies. Hey, you, could you please go and clean these up? Frida, please go to sleep. Go to sleep. Did it work? Everybody be very quiet. Is she asleep? Oh, she's not asleep. Can you please give her a nap for us? Until she leaves, she's doing all kinds of baby care for us, you know. Why are you embarrassed? Oh, yeah, my bad. I apologize for that again. I already forgot. So Danica doesn't mind looking after babies. In fact, her aspiration is to have a big, happy family. Oh, I guess I should have introduced you guys to her. Here she is. Her hair was cut because she tried to make a getaway. The Crusaders didn't really enjoy her attempts for freedom, so they cut her hair. She got into a few altercations along the way, as you can see from her scars. But she's come through the other side. She's strong-willed. She's just happy to be out in the world working for herself and not working for other people. She is lactose intolerant, which is a big issue. It's a big issue for survival, but she is family oriented and paranoid because of the things that have happened. And she wants to have a big, happy family. So she actually quite likes Albert, is my take on it. Although I guess I don't know what her. Yeah, she thinks he's fine. Oh no, their satisfaction is fine. She thinks he's like neutral, but she's fine with it. Albert, as you may remember, he has a soulmate, which is Magdalena, who had his child, but the baby didn't make it. He hasn't seen her for years, of course, because he was taken. And he also had his little relationship with Katrina, but they are now back in Lithuania and he's all the way over here. So all of these people are people he probably will not see again in his lifetime. Oh, I should open this guy. So this is actually Johanna's husband. His name is Fyodor Popov. She's moved off. He hates children and is an overachiever. So I don't know what their life is going to be like. But I expect it won't be very good. Golly, her hunger is crazy. Guys, I didn't do that. They did that. I looked away for a second and there we are. Buddy, I don't know why you're going up there. I wouldn't if I were you. Jeez, I can't believe that you're so... Oh my gosh. Albert is having some feelings, but we're going to go out with Albert and Canule. Let's go and see those other pirates, introduce Albert to them, and hopefully they get along pretty well. Technically, according to the story, Albert and Gunther would have already met these guys because they came back on the pirate ship with them because Canule is obviously sailing around with them. But for the purposes of the game and having to redo everything multiple times, this is going to be the first time that they've met. So hopefully they all get along pretty well. So this guy here, Chaim, he was a knight. He got really disheartened though by the things that he was seeing and he decided to leave that life behind. He gave that all up to become a pirate instead. He views it as taking from those who have too much and giving to those who have too little. But he also has a pretty dark past, so we don't know the full story about him yet. Old Chaim. Are we supposed to see inside of the kids' internal heads like that? I thought that we weren't unless we were playing as them. Oh well. Over here, this is the captain of the pirates. His name is Captain Rodrigo de Pablo, if I'm not mistaken. Captain Rodrigo de Pablo. And he is super cute, right? Is that just me? What a cutie. His eyelashes came off, but honestly, he doesn't even need them. Albert's just standing there staring at people. It's kind of weird. Albert, do you want to say anything, or are you just gonna... you can reveal a brilliant invention. Gosh, it seems like Gunther really wants to be the one who's going to be the pirate here. It's the one who's... You can talk about grilled cheese if you want to. And then where's the other guy, Aiden? Oh my gosh, the king is here, the king of England. Nobody sees him, he shouldn't be here. And then up here, this is Aiden. He is sort of like the most junior of the pirates. He is a teenager like Canule, but he came on after Canule, so he knows the least about pirating out of everyone. But he tries really hard, he puts his back into it, and so that's all you can do, you know, when you're learning something new. Oh, Albert's trying to get in there good by giving him a foot massage. Yep. Those are the other pirates, the pirate crew. But on that note, I think I'm going to leave these guys here and head off to the next household, so I will see you in the morning when we get there. We're here today not because we're really spending time with the main family, although our infant daughter, our baby daughter will be becoming an infant today, which is exciting. But we're here because I have forgotten to harvest. Last time I was supposed to harvest twice. I forgot to, so we're going to harvest with them. And then also we'll talk about historical stuff before we mosey on over to the next place. So something that's really interesting that happens in the year 1374 is that something called a dancing plague popped up. This is an interesting moment in time basically what the dancing plague was, this one that happens in 1374 is known as St. John's Dance. It was kind of like a group mania where this huge group of people started and spread dancing maniacally. A lot of people associated it with demonic possession or with devilish things. But what's weird about it, well, there's a lot of weird things about it, but let's talk about some of the weird things about it. So first of all, this happens almost exclusively in Germany. It does spread a little bit, which we'll get to, but mostly it happens in Germany. And specifically, it happens around the Rhine area. What happened is it started in the city of Aachen. People showed up, they danced maniacally. Sometimes they were yelling, sometimes they were screaming. Sometimes they said they were seeing themselves in a river of blood. Sometimes people would try and jump over things. They would try and jump over tall things like walls or hedges or other people. Sometimes people were screaming about seeing demons, how they were being tortured, how they couldn't stop because they were being made to do it. And what was weird is that they were wearing these bandages around their wrists, around their torsos, and they would dance and scream and move in these crazy ways until they fell down, at which point somebody would come along with a stick and they would like tighten up these bandages, which appeared to give them some kind of relief. Although sometimes it went a bit further and they ended up beating that person with the sticks in order to, quote, help them relieve the pressure. Something that's also quite weird about it is that often their stomachs were like distended and bloated. And that was a major complaint that they had, was that their stomachs were hurting. This was experienced as like a super distressing thing at the time. But what's strange about it is that it started off with like some people and then it grew. It traveled from that starting place all the way up into the Netherlands. And some people would come along, they would see it happening, they would join, and it kind of snowballed where it started with a smaller group of people and it just kept gathering more and more people as it went, which is quite bizarre, but it fit with medieval ideas of social contagions, right? There was a belief in the Middle Ages about this concept that if you saw something, then it could spread. And that was why they tried to police, quote, bad behavior so much, and why it was such a big deal if that bad behavior happened out in public. This plague, quote, plague, is quite weird because for this experience of the dancing plague, this exact one in 1374, some things are a little bit odd about it. For example, it was pretty much only peasants who participated. Something else that's quite odd is that this came, 20 years after the Black Death? There have been waves and waves of the plague coming back throughout that time. So there's been a huge loss of life, a huge loss of labor. And then what happened right before this outbreak of the dancing plague was that there was a super devastating flood that happened in the Rhine. And so fields went completely underwater, more people died. There was the risk of famine. And so there was all of this trauma that had built up in this area. And it appears that the reaction was to go and just dance and scream and get it out. There's a lot of different ideas about what caused it, including some people think that it was ergotism, which to me doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense. To me, it seems like there's actually a quite strong link between the idea of trauma and dancing. This isn't the first time this has happened in this area. It isn't the last time it's going to happen in this area. And according to the video I was watching with Dr. Eleanor Yanega, it seems that there was this cultural memory about the idea of dancing as sort of this, in this kind of situation, a dancing plague, a dancing mania in this kind of situation, where there is a lot of trauma, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of frustration, and there's a lot of fear. And so this seems to be kind of a fairly accepted reaction to those things in this region at this point in time. The reason why I say about this isn't the first time it's happened is because in 1237 in Germany, not that far away from where this one started, 100 or so children were also affected by a dancing plague where it was much the same thing. They went out there and they just started dancing, screaming, flailing around uncontrollably until they were just exhausted and healed. A way that they tried to heal people at the time was to drag them to the church and to perform an exorcism, or to provide music so that they could like kind of just get it out of them, like get it all out of their system in one go. And so obviously there wasn't a lot of understanding about why this was happening, what was causing it, or how to help with it, except for the regular things of the time, which is to say, you know, turn to God and you'll be okay. Another interesting thing about this area, though, is that a lot of us know the story of the Pied Piper. The historical origins of that story also happened in Germany, again, not that far away from where this outbreak of the dancing plague started. The Pied Piper story is actually quite interesting and very complicated, so if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments and I'm happy to go into it. But it is quite, it seems to me that there is a very strong cultural link in this area at this point in time between the idea of trauma and dancing, trauma and music, trauma and the power of music to force these things out of you, to take you out of control of your body. And so it's quite an interesting one because it seems to be much more about a trauma response to everything that's going on. And how did people react to that? Everyone who was involved obviously just quit doing their jobs, which was a huge issue for the upper classes. But again, these are peasants. They're supposedly being controlled by demons or by evil forces, by something supernatural. And so what can you do? You can't make them stop. There's nothing you can do except for wait for them to be returned. Some of the quotes from this time kind of show, though, that a lot of people maybe didn't believe that everyone was having the same experience. For example, here's a part of a very long quote. Secret desires were excited, but too often found opportunities for wild enjoyment. Girls and boys quitted their parents and servants their masters to amuse themselves at the dance of those possessed, and greedily imbibed the poison of mental infection. Above 100 unmarried women were seen raving about in consecrated and unconsecrated places, and the consequences were soon perceived. Wink, wink. In maladies of this kind, the susceptible are infected as easily by the appearance as by the reality. And so we can see within that quote that there is this push and pull between thinking some people are just sort of susceptible to believing this and to getting caught up in this in the moment. And some people are maybe using it as an opportunity to do things that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do. So it's kind of an interesting one. But what's most interesting to me about the dancing plague is that not only is this not the first time that it comes up, but it also comes up again. The later one that comes up, though, in 1518, St. Vitus's plague, is a very different story with a lot more self-harm and a lot more self-violence. It's pretty upsetting. People would run into rivers that were fast-moving to get dragged down by the water. It was just a very different situation, but I'm sure that we'll get to St. Vitus's plague when it comes. Anyways, I don't really have anything profound to say about it, just that it happened. And so I thought it was an interesting thing that was so unusual that I felt like I had to share it with everyone and say what it was that happened. Isn't that so odd? Like, so bizarre. But on that note, we're going to go ahead and leave these guys here, and we're going to head on over to the next household where there is a double birthday in the... Well, you'll see. You'll see. So I will see you at the next household. All right, so here we are at the Hagens because today he's already done it without us. Aldred, it is Aldred Fitzhenry's birthday to a child. So let's get him in cast so you can see how those rolls went. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do Aldred Fitzhenry's birthday to a child. He cannot roll the numbers 3, 9, or 19. That's it. So... Oh my god. Oh my god, you've got to be kidding me. That's... That's the Hagen line. That's one of the last two of the Hagen line. Okay, so not that long ago, somebody left in the comments a comment. Well, a comment in the comments saying that it makes sense that both the Hagens and the Brewers are cursed because Aiken II's first wife was Astrid Hagen, if you remember. She didn't last very long. She passed away after she had Alexander and Aiken III. And that is Leif Hagen's older sister. And so they were saying that basically the Brewer curse sort of like hopped over and jumped into the Hagens. Like the curse traveled from the Brewers and like spread out through the blood to the Hagens, which is so insane. And also, unfortunately, it kind of seems like it's true. Like, I don't really know why. Alaric is easily the most cursed sim in the whole world. Like, his mom passed away when he was really young of the Black Death. He got close with his father, then his father passed away. He finally got close with his sister, then she passed away. He found his soulmate, they got married. They had one baby who survived. Then the second baby, got her, and she wasn't able to make it despite pleading. Then, of course, his second wife came along. His first daughter died, and then his second wife passed away, leaving behind just Aldred. And so the Hagen line is down to Raoul and Aldred. Like, that's all it is. And now Aldred has just failed his child birthday roll. The odds of this happening are just, I don't know. I don't really understand how this has happened so many times. And to be honest, I'm like pretty upset about it. I'm not gonna lie. Aldred, I'm rooting for you. I'm really hoping that you're going to make it and that this isn't going to be the end. This is completely outrageous. I don't know what I did to anger the dice gods. I just know that this is what it is. Like, once again, here we are. Tragedy after tragedy. Alaric Betty, I'm looking for more from... Okay, he's here. He's here. Grim, you, Raoul, you're very sad. Don't worry about your cousin, maybe cousin. I don't know who she is to you. Just come back. And Grim, just give us a second, please. Grim? Please, Grim! He's so mean to us. Honestly, I don't know what to say about it. I don't know what to say about any of it. I'm like I'm super frustrated. Like, I don't... Can you fight with him? Rude introduction. He has taken two wives, 4 children, both parents, sister. I want you to lash out at him. We're not being we're fighting. We're fighting, Grim. Fight him. Fight him now, Leif. Oh my god. Alaric. Alaric had the strongest of Leif's genes, and now they're all gone. This is it. This is the end of it. I don't care, Grim. This is how I feel about you right now, because you're a jerk. You're a jerk. And I hope that you lose this fight. You deserve to lose this fight. Get him, Alaric. Gosh darn it. Imply his mother is a llama. I'm mad, man. And what's he gonna do to us now? We don't have any more children. We don't have any more children. We don't have any more baby temps. We don't have a wife. I don't know. I'm in shock. I really thought that we were going to... I really thought we were gonna get him back. Oh no. So the whole of the Hagen line is down to 1. Raoul. I also now don't know what we're supposed to do with Alaric. I mean, what role can he play in the story now? He's just gonna be this, like, knight who has to go to war and risk his life all the time for what? For no more children. He's never gonna have anything. Makes me really sad. He deserved better than this. Well, we might as well put Aldred out here with his mom. Well, on that note, I guess that's about where we're going to leave things for this time on that super win. In the background, the things that have happened are that Deanna Payne actually also got married. She got married to a guy that was arranged for her, and she is off living her life. I think that I'm going to stop following Deanna just because, you know, it just isn't speaking to me, just like with the Lances. But she's kind of settled. She'll go off and have her own life, and she'll be totally fine without us, safe away from the roles. Gregory Brewer aged up to a teenager successfully. Despite our worst fears, he did roll to get married and to have 6 baby tries. Really, overall, this was like a pretty good half year. There wasn't that much drama. There wasn't that much excitement. Everything kind of just went okie dokie, except for, of course, losing our buddy. Except for, of course, losing our buddy Aldred. But anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed this part. As always, let me know your thoughts and ideas in the comment section below. Thank you so much to those of you who are over there on Patreon, and thank you as well here for watching. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye, everyone.